There was a lot going on in that American Alchemy Jake Barber interview. And we got to remember that in 2023, during that hearing, I think it was Tim Burchett who asked David Grush point blank if there were threats on whistleblowers' lives, and he pretty much confirmed that. Couldn't necessarily confirm if people had been killed, but kind of implied it. That's been implied a bunch of different times, and it seems like it is indeed brought up again here with Jesse Michels and Jake Barber, who claims not only did that happen, but there's an active investigation inside of that claim. So let's listen to that actual clip itself, and then we'll talk about all of it. So here it is.
You know, everyone likes to ask, why am I not afraid that someone's going to try and silence me with death? There are people that have died who were coming out and who were speaking out on our activities.
Anybody you know?
Yes.
Can you say anything more?
No, because there's an investigation happening right now.
It's to the point. I don't think anybody's too shocked when it comes to that, right? Like if you think about it in terms of, okay, this cover up, this ruse by whoever is running this whole thing for the last 70, 80 years has kept their secrets quiet and have done it any means possible. I think that there's probably a time where you don't have as much of the, I listen, whatever this investigation is, whoever the investigation is about, it's someone at least within the last 20, 30 years, obviously, because Jake Barber knows the person. So you'd say 10 years, right? And that did have social media. That did have other things. You can bet that during the times of less technology, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, it probably happened often, if you were going to guess. Because of, in the same way that like the mob, just because that's, people are like, some people are shocked, right? And going, whoa, this government type stuff that's happening, and these murders are happening. This is unbelievable. It's organized crime. I mean, it's organized crime. That's what it is. Tons of hits in organized crime. If you follow any type of organized crime, that's what this is. So you're like, really? That's shocking. Why? Because it has to do with facets of the government? I mean, come on. I mean, look at the fact that the files they're going to be releasing on the Kennedy files and other things, and whether or not any information comes out of that, who knows? The point is that there was something not legal about all that stuff combined. Well, of course not. You got killed. Yeah, but we're talking about within the government, and that's another conversation altogether. However, we're talking about this, and the fact that Jake Barber has really been outspoken about a lot of different things, and I think in another video that we're probably going to cover here today, I would assume. If I don't cover it here today, we'll cover it on UAP Tuesday with Peter and myself, but he also discussed the drones and talked about how he was working on the drones in New Jersey, or be tasked to it, rather, and that this FAA thing is nonsense, or what they said, which I don't think anybody watching this channel is shocked about that. But this particular subject, in the fact that he is coming out to say these types of things, now there's an investigation, right? Now, to me, the investigation is it just a formality? You know, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, of course, we're going to find out what that was all about. And then they don't ever find out what it's all about? Or is it one of these things like, no, we actually did the digging. This person was looking into bringing more information out, and we do not believe, let's say that they said that it was by the person's own hand. So we don't believe that that is the case. We believe that this actually happened this way, that way. It doesn't ever seem to happen that way, right? Like, there's tons of mysterious deaths. People who have, again, said that they have left this world due to their own hand. And some people go, I don't know about that. That's why there's been so many messages of people going, if anything happens to me, I'm not depressed. I'm of good. My mental health has been pretty good, and they've been more and more vocal. People are saying it all the time, because that's usually, oh well, yeah, there was a lot going on there. There's a lot of potential whistleblowers with all the stuff that was happening with the planes and other things, and it is mysterious deaths. Now look, the same can be said about, well, that's the first thing you say because it's surrounded by controversy and the fact that this person was going to speak up, that maybe it did get too much for them. Maybe there were some issues in general. But I think that I don't think it's that black and white. I just don't. But either way, this just once again shows how powerful of a voice Jake Barber is really becoming inside of this community and inside of, as far as a spokesperson in general. Now you look at what's going on with the Skywatcher series and all of that. He's becoming more and more someone I think he's filling the void where, because David Grush has been pretty much gone. You haven't heard from the guy, seen the guy. Doesn't mean that he gave up. It just means he's probably working behind the scenes or other things, but he just hasn't been in front of the camera. He hasn't been making statements. There's supposed to be that op-ed that he's supposed to do. That never came out. He was supposed to be working for the government. That never happened. It very well still could, but right now he hasn't been around, and he was the guy people were looking at after he came forward and like, well, what does Grush have to say about this? Where's Grush? Where's Grush? And he was supposed to speak at that conference, and that was the last of it. And then we hadn't really heard from him. And you're like, well, where is this guy? And now Jake Barber seems to have fit that role of the guy who's out there going, well, and not only did Dave Grush talk to all these different people, I can tell you that I know for a fact I've seen these things. I've seen this. I know this. I know this program. I know what these things are meant to do. It's just interesting because he has so much information, right? And some of the stuff he said on the News Nation video was a bit kind of like people was hard for people to kind of fathom also because of like spirits and other things that he was talking about, that if you tune into that for the first time, not knowing anything, you go, oh, this is just kind of like that ancient alien stuff they show on history. There's no fact here. Because you feel it with all the experience that this guy's got and all the things that he's been saying, he should be as focused on from the media as David Grush was. And maybe he will be. Maybe there'll be more. But there are other things that were popping up over the weekend that people were tagging. And I don't know. You guys will tell me this. Maybe something that, I don't know. Maybe one of you guys tagged me on. I'm not sure. But there was a scientist who was pretty much anti-gravity. She was kind of releasing a lot of information about all of this. And she was one of those people who said that she left the world by her own hand. And there are a lot of people who kind of said, I don't know. She was blowing the whistle about this. She tried to contact Trump and let all this information know. There was an interview that came out from her, obviously, I don't know how long before she passed away, but where the interviewer was talking to her about both Hal Puthoff and Lou Elizondo, into which she called both of them extremely evil, is what she said inside of that. Now, again, I don't know enough about this woman. I don't know enough about the investigation behind her death. I don't know any of that stuff. But she was discussing Hal and talking about how when you see him, he's kind of like a nice old grandpa, but behind closed doors, he's extremely evil. And she said the same thing about Lou Elizondo. So, you just never know. And I don't know. It could be completely fabricated and completely not true at all. But it's just, everybody has these ideas and thoughts of people in general. Of if they're fighting your cause, then they're the good people. And these two gentlemen could be, honestly, the best of us all. I don't know. I'm just telling you what was said in this particular interview. So there's just so many different, well, for everybody who says this, there's somebody who says that. And I wonder if it all turns back into this investigation that we're talking about here about Jake Barber's colleagues and what David Grush and the claims that he made, that when and if this information starts to come out about disclosure, right? It's one of the things that people will have to investigate in general about what happened to the other people who wanted to come forward years and years and years ago. What happened to them? Will people be held accountable for that? That's stuff that I think needs to be asked, and I think it's one of the reasons that people fear disclosure in general, because of not only this type of stuff and these types of investigations and people who could potentially go to jail because of these particular things, but also financially, lawsuits and all that. So there's a lot behind it, obviously, that we've discussed at length in this show. But anyway, that's it for this. I just wanted to make this where I would highly recommend going and watch Jake Barber's interview on Jesse Michels' show, American Alchemy. It's a great show. He's doing great things over there. Make sure you go and check that out. As far as us, if you want to support this channel, obviously you can by commenting and liking and subscribing. You do that already. If you want to go a step further, you can join membership. You want to go a step further, say get something for yourselves. And I have two great sponsors for you today. Via, who I've discussed at great length, and Public Rec, who I've discussed at great length. So let me tell you about both of them right now. All right, let's be honest. Nobody has time anymore for stiff, uncomfortable pants. It's February. It's cold outside. And you deserve to be comfortable. And that's why I keep telling you about Public Rec. The pants are a game changer. The pants are designed to be comfy as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. Talking about super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. Not just about pants. They got a lot of different style options, whether you're working all day in the office, running errands, or just grabbing a drink. Who doesn't want to look sharp without sacrificing comfort? I'm telling you, once you put them on, you're going to wonder why you wore anything else. That's all I get now. Gifts for my wife. It's Public Rec. So this February, treat yourself right because comfort is always in session. Upgrade to Public Rec and feel the difference. Limited time. You can get 20% off at Public Rec. You got to use that code DTE at checkout. Just head to publicrec.com, use that code DTE, then you're all set. Oh, and when they ask you how you found them, you got to be sure to mention our show because it really helps us out. Find your perfect fit and never compromise on comfort again. Public Rec, where comfort rules. Let's get excited again. It's Via time. I'm so excited to have Via back on the show because let's be honest, everybody, 2025 has been all about change. It doesn't matter if it's work, if it's personal stuff, or just the daily grind. It can be hard to keep up, but here's the deal. When things get hectic, you don't have to go through it alone. Embrace the power of nature and elevate your everyday with Via. It's trusted by over 500,000 customers. Via is the Swiss Army knife of wellness. It's dedicated to harnessing the natural beliefs of hemp to create high-quality wellness products, whether you're looking to improve your sleep, focus, recovery, add a little pep to your step, or just get high. Via has something for you. With the products ranging from 0 to 100 milligrams of THC, Via gives you the power to blaze your own trail. I love Via. For me, it's the sleep stuff. I have the gummies that I take right before I go to bed, and I am sleeping well. So if you're 21 and over, check out our link to Via's website in our description and use that code DTE. Why would I want to do that? You get 15% off. And if you're new to Via, you get a free gift of your choice. I promise you, I've been talking about Via now, I guess, for the last 3 or 4 months, and I am so excited to have them back. So please, go and check it out. You will not be disappointed. Via.